Now let's have a little play with this EQ. Now there's probably not a great deal to be learned here by playing with the three parametric bands here, but what I do want to show you are the two shelves and the effects that I was discussing before by using the overshoot controls. So at the moment we've got this set as a low shelf, as you can see, and as we lift this up, we're not getting that kind of reverse thing down here. So let's have a listen now. Now I'm going to exaggerate the bottom end on this track. I'll just play it in bypass so you can hear what I've got. So it's an okay sounding track, a little flat perhaps, but I'm going to exaggerate the bottom end with this low shelf now. Let's have a listen to the fact that as I boost this up, we're going to get sort of some muddy artifacts in the 100 to say 250 region. So throughout here, it's going to get a little muddy, a little bit sort of woofy sounding. In fact, I'm going to hunt around and exaggerate that. Okay, say there. That's because it's a standard kind of shelf, as you can see. But if I use the width control here in its alternate use now to change the shape of the shelf, let's see what we can achieve. See how it cleans it up? So now we've still got way too much bottom end, that's on purpose, we're exaggerating that, but that kind of low mid woofiness is gone now. Even if I exaggerate it a lot more. In fact, we can even hunt around and place that dip right in the right spot. There we go. We haven't got much bass guitar now, of course, because all the notes are kind of missing a little bit, but let's bypass. It's going to loop around. So that's bypassed. Okay, so of course way too much bass as we've said, but now that we've kind of tailored that response, we can pull down the gain here and smooth it out a bit more. Now bypass. There, so we've got a nice little bump on the bottom end now. So just to go over that again, we've got a nice big boost down here, and at the same time, simultaneously, we've got a bit of a dip down here, which gets rid of a lot of that build-up of low-mid woofiness that can cloudy up our mix or our instruments. So let's turn that off now. I'll just command-click on that on the Mac to send it back to where it was. Let's now do a similar thing at the top end and see the response we can get there. Now, what I'm hoping to achieve here is to brighten up the very high parts of the high end, maybe 9, 10K and above, but I don't want that nasty harshness that can happen if we're boosting, say, around 5 and 6K on a full mix in this case. So at the moment, we've got the bit of a dip there, so I'm going to go back to how it was. So that's a normal type of shelf response there. Now again, it's too much, so let's not judge that. So you can hear it's getting a bit hard and harsh in there. So again, let's introduce this bend in the shelf. And you can hear there now, that's pretty much dried up in that area. Now we can hunt around. So you can hear when I get to a place like that, it is in fact quite unnatural, but we are exaggerating that and just showing the kind of flexibility that we have here. So a massive boost there and a very significant dip there at the same time. I'll bring that down to a more even rate. Let's bypass. Okay. It's a little too chitsy on the hi-hats now, but let's lower this instead. Perhaps lower that. Now let's compare. Yeah, not bad. So it's only a slight boost there now, but as you can see, it's still got that rise there and that dip there. So that was just a quick hands-on on one of the shelf modes we can access here. Because if we go up like this, and as we saw, we can change to the other shelf modes, they haven't got, 2 and 3 haven't got as pronounced a dip in the other direction like that. 2 and 3 kind of move that response further up the curve here. So 2 will do that. So now there's a little bit more of a bump there, and then it levels out. Let's exaggerate that. And 3, even more so. A much more pronounced bump there, and then roll off from there. So that's a quick hands-on with the SV-517 Mk.2 EQ. Next up, the SV-315 compressor.